Mic check. Welcome, everybody. We just wrapped up our executive session. We want about 2 minute break here, so we will start at 7:05 in a couple of minutes. So just bear with us a few more moments. Thank you for coming tonight. Very nice job of getting everyone's attention there. That works better than my voice, I think. We'll go ahead and start the meeting at 7:05 p.m. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and continue here with any changes to the agenda. Anyone? Stacy? No changes? All right. By the way, Ms. Drakia is here to represent Dr. Finch, who could not be here tonight. So thank you for attending. Communications, response to public comments.
Okay, I have a response to public comment written by Dr. Finch that I will read. At the school board meeting on September 13th, a community member asked for clarification as to why the lockers in the hallways at the junior high building are not being used this year. During COVID, the hallway lockers at the junior high were not used due to student distancing requirements and sanitation reasons. During this time, the junior high saw a significant drop in issues associated with locker use, and the junior high saw an increased instructional time in classrooms. The school administration has found that since the middle school does not have lockers in the hallways, students have become accustomed to not having lockers. The junior high has been able to shorten passing time between classes to maximize instructional time in classrooms. The school administration reports that while it may not seem significant on a daily basis, this additional instructional time adds up over the school year. The school administration has found that lockers are a place where various contraband is more easily kept, so it makes sense to minimize this problem. The school administration also found that student gathering around the hallway lockers between classes created safety, student movement, and social issues. They also found that there are less class interruptions from students forgetting something in their locker because students have their materials with them in their backpacks. The school administration also found that the hallway lockers are over 40 years old and the locks need constant attention when lockers in the hallways were used. When students struggled with the locker combinations and faulty equipment, students were late for class. The administration conducted a site visit last year to Chase Middle School in Spokane as an exemplary school for inclusionary practices. During the visit, the school administration noted that Chase Middle School no longer used hallway lockers due to the issues previously stated. For all these reasons, the junior high building is not using hallway lockers this school year. Student athletes at the junior high can be assigned a locker in the locker room if they would like to have a locker for equipment and clothing needed for their after-school activities.
All right, thank you for that comment and information. We'll go ahead and move on to item 6 on the agenda, school program presentation. So, all right.
Well, while I'm walking up, today is a special day for someone. If there is anybody in this room that happens to be turning, you want me over there?
Yep.
That happens to be turning 75 today, can you please stand up? His son is our director of special education in the district, and so he's on speed dial for me, and he just texted right before the meeting.
Should I tell him what he heard that some kid call you today?
No. Not here. You want to be appropriate. All right, so the reason that we're here today, every year, each school in West Valley School District gets the opportunity to present to the school board. So I went and described a little bit to you guys about the school board last week and who they are and what they do, and sometimes they don't even know, like to wake up and say, what am I going to do today at the school board? But we talked about that ultimately the big decisions in the district rest with this group of people. So when I thought about what do I want to present to the school board, something really, really positive happened last year at our school in our 4th grade class. And it's not just a reflection of 4th grade, it's a reflection of a lot of things that have happened. And I want to talk about a few of those things. And then we're going to celebrate them. I'm going to tell you what they are, and then we're going to celebrate them a little bit. So last year, this feels like 100 years ago. Try to remember a year ago. Do you know that we were actually having conversations if we could even be in school? Doesn't that feel like 100 years ago? It's crazy to me to think that it was not all that long ago that we were wearing masks. Like for the first part of last year, I only ever saw you guys as students as your eyes. I never even saw your faces. And the first time I saw your faces, which I think was like March, I was like, I don't know who these kids are because your masks were real. But we came back from everything that happened over COVID over the last couple of years. And I'll tell you, partly I want to celebrate in front of the school board because our school board did make a commitment that a lot of schools in the state and country weren't ready to make. But our school board said we want to get our kids back into schools as soon as possible. And so you guys got to come back way before a lot of other schools even got to. And for that, I'll always be grateful to our school board because the last thing I ever wanted was you guys staying at home all day long and not getting to be together and learn. And so they made decisions to keep you safe and get you at school. So we thank you for that. Number one. Number two, now we're going to celebrate our 4th graders. And I want to tell you what happened with our 4th graders last year.
at the beginning of the year, the kids take a test called iReady. Has everybody heard of iReady?
Yeah.
The kids have. And they get a score that shows where they're performing at the beginning of the year. And then their teachers work their little tails off, make the kids work their little tails off, and at the end of the year, they're supposed to make a certain amount of growth. And the growth that our kids showed last year was absolutely incredible. And I'm going to tell you what those accomplishments were. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the iReady growth for reading and math. So the district, so iReady is something that kids take all over the country in certain school districts, but not all of them. But in comparison to West Valley, that's the only thing really that I can compare. In comparison to West Valley, that's actually a big deal because West Valley performs really well on assessments. And so the district averaged 65% growth on tests. On reading, a tandem fourth graders scored 76%, which was the second highest in the district on reading. So give yourselves a round of applause. Okay. In math, our district, which like I said, our district scores pretty high, was at 67%. That's really good. That means 67% of the kids made the growth that they needed to make according to the iReady math assessment. Well, our fourth graders just destroyed this district, state, national averages on it and scored 84% on the Okay, now at the end of the year, the kids take the test called the Smarter Balance. Put your thumbs up, kids, if you love taking the Smarter Balance. There's a couple crazy kids, there's a couple who aren't sure, and there's the rest of you that are kind of normal. The Smarter Balance, it takes a long time. The teachers are pulling their hair out about it. I pulled all of my hair out about it. It's a challenging test because you have to really focus for a while. But what the Smarter Balance is assessing is how many of you are at the level that you need to be at for your grade level. Now that is all, they're raising their hand. No, that can be all over the place. This is a really important gauge for us to know how are our students doing and how are they doing compared to the state, the national average, are they at grade level? So the average score in math, the average proficiency is 46%. This means of typical fourth graders in Washington State, 46% are at average, are at proficiency, meaning they're at grade level. That's not super high, huh? It's a hard test. And also think about it, these kids lost a lot of time because of COVID. So 46% feels a little low. And it is a little low compared to most years, partly because they missed all that time. Well, 46% was the state average. Our school's fourth grade average was 70% in math. So and West Valley always does really well. That was also tied for the second highest in the district. All right. On the ELA, the state average is 49%, so just below 50. And I was really proud of this one because this is the highest score of all the fourth grade classes in all the district. Our students on the SBAC ELA got up to 73% ELA. All right, so what people see will be those scores. They'll see what an awesome job you did. I have been wanting to celebrate that because number one, the growth number just is amazing to me because no matter how low you started, that means that you worked your tail off to get the growth that you need to get. The fourth graders last year just killed it. And so I've asked our 3 fourth grade teachers to come up here. And the first thing I want them to do is introduce themselves when they come up. So you 3 come up here. And I've asked them to talk for a minute about what did it take for you guys to achieve what you achieved this year, and then I'm going to say something afterwards. So Or have they been telling me to get the mic? Okay, so go ahead. Ms. Sanders, you can start.
Do I need to sit here? Okay, I'll sit. I wrote down what I was going to say just so I don't forget anything, and I'll get less emotional if I read it. So I'm Audrey Sanders. I teach fourth grade, obviously. This is my sixth year at Autanum, and I've loved every second of it. Last year was a really special year. Every year is uniquely perfect, but I just knew last year would be different. Something about the class as a whole made me feel that they would dramatically surpass my wildest expectations, and they did. We always shoot for growth in my classroom. Start where you start and grow as much as you possibly can, and be proud of where you start and finish. Everyone can achieve that. These students were determined. They worked to grow. They were proud when they did, and it only motivated them to shoot even farther. They easily surpassed our weekly goal of 60 minutes in iReady and Imagine Learning each week. And they wanted to do more. In their eyes, each additional minute was more growth. Almost every single student not only hit their iReady yearly growth goal, but also their more ambitious stretch goal. They trusted me. They knew I could teach them what they needed to be successful, and they worked and persevered every day. And they trusted each other. They challenged each other during small group stations and were truly accountable for their own learning. I will never forget having Giovanni come to my class after the school year started. He was a monolingual student who was super sweet, but also quiet and unsure. The weight of learning the language and the fourth grade material was evident when he first arrived. But with never-ending support from my students and a little support from me, he grew in his confidence and his abilities. At the end of the year, he was confident taking the SBAC test in English, and that is something I will always cherish. It's witnessing success like that that made me want to be an educator. I could talk all day about these ones. This group can do anything. Thank you for trusting me as your teacher.
Hi, I'm Tara Neisler, and I've also been at Autanum 6 years. I just wrote a few little notes here about the wonderful group I had last year. So their growth is totally based on how hard they worked. I have never had such a hardworking group of students. They were motivated to learn. They set goals. They reached and surpassed those goals. They learned to advocate for themselves. We had open communication about what was working for them and maybe what wasn't working quite so much. They were creative, and the ideas that they came up with in the mornings, you may have heard the Price is Right music had you come by my classroom, a little game we like to call the Math is Right. Or maybe you would have seen children walking around their desks taking a brain break, all which were ideas that they came up with themselves. I was honored. They were good ones. I was honored to be your fourth grade teacher, and you will always have a place in our classroom. Nicely done.
All right, I'm Todd Kiyoki Paikuli, also same amount of time as they have been here. Last year I began telling a story about a man in flooding waters and all the assistance, rowboats, large ships, and finally a helicopter coming to this man's rescue and sending ropes out to say, grab a hold. All he had to do was climb on board or reach out and grab a rope to save himself. I compared this to my students in education. We, as educators, can do all we can, but unless the students grab a hold of the rope and climb on board, they will drown and not get the education they need. These students did just that. They grabbed a hold of the rope and had to work extremely hard. They learned the meaning of perseverance and grit. They also showed an incredible ability of helping each other through teaching one another. This created an amazing class that was had close relationships and wanting each other to succeed. We had a lot of laughter, goofiness, frustration, and tears, but this is what made us so successful as a group. Every morning after saying the Pledge of Allegiance, we recited the chant from Rita Pearson, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. Imua, which is in Hawaiian, means to go forward, charge. Always remember you are somebody. And never forget how you learned to succeed this year, or last year, sorry. And thank you for your diligence in making your school, your family, your class, your friends, and most of all, your teacher proud of what you've done. Remember Imua and charge forward and keep being the best you are. Thank you.
I just have a couple more little things, and then we'll wrap up here. So I want to tell you what you did last year is a reflection of you guys. It's a reflection of your fourth grade teachers, but also all the intervention teachers, the resource teachers, your kinder, first, second, third grade teachers. A lot of people that work hard to get you guys where you're at. But a couple things that I want you to remember is, first of all, that number on the SBAC that so many of you were proficient is really important to me. But it's only tiny compared to how many of you made the growth that you need to do. So if you start the year, your test scores this year, you're not at proficient yet, you're not like at level yet, that should not be the reason that you go home and you're sad. It just means, I'm gonna grow this year. And if you're really high and like you're already reading at like a 9th grade level, I hope that you don't go home and say, I'm done, I'm good. But you go home and say, I'm gonna be reading at an 11th grade level when this year's over, okay? So I know that you guys have kids that'll do it. I want to say when I observed you guys last year, some things that stood out to me is that you treated each other with kindness and respect. That allows you guys to be able to take risks in class, to put yourself out there, to try to learn and to do new things. So I appreciate that. You trusted your teachers. You did what they told you to do. These 3 teachers work together as good as any team that I've ever seen. They always have each other's back. They plan together. They're successful because of that. They're very clear with what their expectations are for you. And you guys all did an awesome job this year. So this is now what I got. I told you that I had a little gift, partly just to tempt you to come. The school board, they get to do a lot of positive things, but sometimes they get people that are like mad at them because they have to make decisions for the whole district. And sometimes people are mad at them. Is that true?
A little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I wanted them tonight to be able to see the best part of what they're going to do, and it's to see your faces. So, teachers, can you come help me with something? So I have a gift. I have a gift right now that we're going to give you. This is, I want each of you to go home. These are, there's some special pencils in here that have some like good thoughts on them that say like Mr. Hartman's the coolest. Yeah, your teachers are the coolest. So some inspirational journals and pencils that I want to hand out. And these, we're going to have a quick celebration. And I have to give someone a little credit a second. These are little poppets that we're all going to pop off in a sec. But hey, hold on. Oh, no, you guys go ahead. I need you guys to know something. When I told our custodian, Goose, I said, we're going to pop these off and there's going to be confetti all over the library. I said,
Miss Martin's going to kill us.
Yeah. I said, would you be really mad if we did that and got confetti everywhere? And Goose was so happy that you guys got to celebrate tonight. He said, whatever you guys do, I'll come tomorrow morning and I'll clean it all up. I know, and it's super cool. Goose really cares about you guys, and he wanted you to have fun tonight. So Goose said that he'll get this all cleaned up tomorrow. So tomorrow, you guys all tell Goose thank you. Don't pop them until I tell you to.
This morning, you let us race it. I think it was either like Thursday, but lunch
All right, does everybody have one? Yeah. Let me show you how these work. Yep.
I know how to.
The first thing to do is pull your string out so it's like this. Okay? Pull your string out so it's like this.
That's how you
Don't
do
pull
it.
it quite
That's how you do it.
Never pull your string out. Okay. On the count of 3, you're gonna pull the string. So wait. So listen. I don't want this to happen out of order. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna do it. When I say the word 3, that's when you're gonna pop it.
Okay.
Don't do it before.
Okay.
Too late.
Okay, come on.
1, 2, 3. All right. All right, guys. Everybody, just one more time. I always want to say thanks. These people, by the way, don't get paid for what they're doing. They do it because they care about our community kids. So let's tell them thank you for all they do to support us with a big round of applause. Is it okay if I dismiss them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sometimes these things go on. You guys are dismissed to leave with your families now.
I don't think they let them play with it anymore. They do when I was a kid. You could have
Give it just a minute more for everyone to clear out, and maybe some of the noise will kind of reduce as well.
Wow. She's bound determined she's gonna try.
Okay, we'll go ahead and resume our normal meeting. That was a very nice show and very entertaining and kind of noisy too, but very enjoyable. All right, next on the agenda is public comments of non-discussion agenda items. I have received a list. Looks like we have 3 people, but only 2. All 3 of them would like to speak, so I will take those in order. Carol Blevins.
Gotta sit in the chair.
Well, tonight, I wanted to see if I could get a response to this. Is the USDA threatening to take funding away from the free and reduced lunch program if the school does not comply with having equity and inclusion curriculum taught through K through 12? Just a side note is that if this is true, I find it interesting that this will hurt some of the very kids that they say that their program is supporting. And I just like to say, ask the parents on Zoom and here to have a homework assignment of really digging deep to see what the equity and inclusion program is and see how it is affecting your children. So that's my comment tonight.
Thank you. And again, we will take your information and have a response for you at our next board meeting.
Dr. Finch addressed that in his September 27th response.
Okay.
Well, he did address some of it.
Okay.
But should I just not talk?
No, we'll try to get you a more complete response. I'm not particularly familiar with that particular response by Dr. Finch, but we'll look into it and give you a more thorough response, okay? Next, we have Barb Gilbert.
Barb just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, all right, then we'll turn it over to Mr. Matthews.
Thank you. I just wanted to address, I guess, a quick item as it relates to construction funds and excess bond proceeds. The remaining funds are not the result of any one person, but the outcome of a process that involved an entire team. It started with a budget that did provide a cushion. We all recognize we'd rather have something left over than come in short. So I think that's important to understand is the budget did provide a cushion. Secondly, the bidding utilized the GCCM alternate project delivery process that allowed the district to select the best qualified contractor, not the lowest cost contractor. Third, electing to retain a dedicated project management firm with the experience in these types of projects was critical. It allowed somebody to have the responsibility and somebody to have the focus on delivering the project. Fourth, a building design that focused on the educational needs, not the wants. The buildings are nice, they're very functional, but we can all agree that there's no gold plating. 5, it was difficult at the time, but there was the decision to relocate 2 elementary schools with their entire population of well over 700 staff and students into the present day Innovation Center. It was a difficult 2 years of learning, but it resulted in a significant financial savings to the projects. That resulted in clean sites where the buildings could be best placed and connected to existing accesses and utilities. It didn't result in a building being stuck in a corner with even more potential conflicts with neighbors. The district was benefited by the ability to front fund both projects. Rather than waiting for the state's funding cycle on state match, construction match, the district was able to get both projects started. Project subcontract bids were solicited early in the year, a typical favorable bidding climate when contractors don't have a lot of work on the books. And those bids were received when the impacts of COVID-19 were unknown. It was a period of great uncertainty in the contractor market. And as a result, the district benefited by some very favorable bidding bidding climate. The two buildings were constructed with the same design by the same contractor and the subcontractor teams. A first building where the lessons were learned and a second building where the lessons were applied. You may recall that during the midst of the project, Apple Valley started out ahead, and by the end of it, some of you caught up. That's because the contractors had learned how to build the second building more efficiently. And lastly, a committed group of community members that paid attention to the project as a bond oversight committee. People that could be in the meetings, that donated a tremendous amount of time, that were there as the eyes and ears of our community. We sit here today not as a West Valley community with remaining bond funds as a result of any one individual, but as a result of a process delivered by a focused and intentional team. A team that has shown us a pathway that can be followed to deliver the next successful project. Thank you.
Mr. Matthews, that was very well done and prepared. Was it possible you could send that to the board members so we have a copy?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
They're not complete sentences, so no,
That's all right.
no spelling checks.
We won't grade you.
Some of us might.
All right. Anyone else have any public comments? I know we don't take them via Zoom anymore or online, but is there anyone else here who would like to speak? If not, I will move on to action items. We have approval of minutes for the September 22nd, 7th, 2022 board meeting and the October 4th, 2022 community forum. The notes, minutes, or copies are there. Anyone, I would entertain a moment from anyone, a motion from anyone.
I'll move that we approve the minutes from September 27th and October 4th community forum.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. We have a motion. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. We also have item 8B, approval of travel requests. There are a number of them there. If anyone would like to pull anything out or have any comments, otherwise I'll entertain a motion for that as well.
I'll move to approve the travel requests 1 through 3 as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Thorner. We have a motion. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Now we have item C, approval of distributed antenna system or DAS for Apple Valley and Summit View. There's a memo in the board packet. I know we have had some previous discussion about this. Is there any additional discussion or would someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the DAS system at Apple Valley and Summit.
All right, we have a motion. We'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 9 on the agenda, items arising. Anyone?
I just, and Stacy, help us on this. The DAS systems, every other school in the district also has problems with personal cell phones not working. Are we going to address the safety issues in the other buildings also?
I believe that that is a consideration on the capital projects list, but we have to do an evaluation of each building to see what the needs are before we can do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Items arising? If not, we'll move on to item 10, superintendent's report. I know Dr. Finch isn't here, but did he send anything with
He
you?
did not.
All right, I think that's in the package anyway. No one has any questions or comments about that. We will move on to item 11, board reports, board development. Anyone? This might be another short meeting of this. Mr. Thornton?
Well, it'll still be short. I have 2 items, 2 reports. First of all, I had a very pleasant conversation yesterday with Representative Chris Corey about a few matters that don't pertain to the school district, but one that did, and he wanted to acknowledge the letter that the board and Dr. Finch sent regarding the request for funding that we asked for in our letter, as well as the other item about not resetting the the clock if we should move ahead with improvement of the high school bathrooms. He said that in just a few weeks, he'll be meeting with his budget folks in Olympia and to see what can be done about helping getting some appropriation for those projects and the overall situation. So no promises, but I wanted just to report to the board a pleasant conversation that I had with Representative Corey about that. Secondly, I just wanted to say for myself, I would imagine the rest of the board feels similarly, but 31 months ago, almost to the day, was when this school board convened a meeting at Mountain View Elementary School on March 10, 2020. And that was the last time until tonight that we had the pleasure of experiencing what we did tonight in an elementary school building. And it brings a smile on my face. It's a pleasure to be here. It's not quite the same when the kids came to us at the high school. It's a great thing. I really just can't believe how much I missed coming here, coming to our schools for school board meetings, and it's just another touch of normalcy for us. So thank you for indulging my comment, and tonight was really terrific to see the kids in their school. Thank you.
Thank you. And it brings to mind one other comment that I would like to just add. Even though there's not a lot of people here right now, I do want to say a big thanks to the community for showing up to the first of 2 community forums. It was very important to hear their voice, and I want to encourage, as long as this message can get out to more folks, encourage more participation. The more the better, and something as important to the school district as this is. And I would encourage anyone who hears my voice saying these things to act as an emissary of this message. Go out and share it with other people. Encourage them to come and speak their mind and share their perspective. We won't get many chances like this again, but I do want to say thank you to those who did show up and to please come again. And I was very proud to see the interest of our community by showing up. We even had to put out more chairs, so that was a sign of how people felt about participating. So just a big thank you to everyone who did come. Okay, anyone else?
Well, just one thing, Mr. Chairman, is that this weekend I read again one of my news burps on the phone where a federal judge declared unisex bathrooms and the providing of those in the schools and stuff, I don't remember what state it was in, illegal. So it's been put on hold. And with all the conversations we've had regarding that topic, I think it's a bit early to predict which way we'll go because we don't know at this point. And I forget all my history lessons and stuff about whether it's state law or federal law that holds precedent. I think state law holds on those kind of things. So because our leaders over in the legislature want to maintain the autonomy to be able to make those kind of rules and laws. Remains to be seen.
All right, thank you, Mr. Meyer. Anyone else? All right, hearing no more comments and no more items, we will adjourn the meeting. It is, I don't know, say, what,
7:49.
Thank you. I can't see that far. 7:49. Have a good evening, everyone.
I can now.